Thanks so much for sharing your garden with us. Now we're going to be turning our attention to a popular subject for people who love to create art and also garden. And we're going to be talking about growing gourds and making beautiful objects with them. And I'm joined by a couple of great folks. Suzanne Haffey, who is the Vice President of the Texas Gourd Society and a member of the Capital of Texas Gourd Patch, is the way they refer to their groups, as the Patches. And Charlotte Yeisley, who is with Diamond Y Farm and Dancing Feather Studios out of Smithville. And she is also a member of the Texas Gourd Society. First off, welcome to the program. It's great to have you here. It's a real pleasure. You've brought some spectacular things to share with us, Suzanne and Charlotte. And I just want to give people just a taste of that, and then we're going to dive in and talk about growing these things and also some of the craftsmanship that goes into them. But we have a group of different things here, some of which I think people would be hard-pressed to know that you started with a gourd. The first group we have here includes some religious iconography made out of gourds, which these are really special. And you created these yourself.
I did, yes.
So how long have you been doing this?
I've been involved about 5 years in artwork, and I love painting them and got hooked on it. I've been obsessed with it for going on 5 years now. Why
gourds? Why do you think, what captures this? You know, it's funny because we've done interviews with people from Gourd Society in the past, and it's like, this seems to be one of those addictive things out there.
It's very addictive. I think the most charming thing about them is they come in so many different shapes and sizes. There's all types of gourds, and you're limited by your imagination as to what you can do with them.
Well, it looks like you have no limit to your imagination in terms of these. What I have to say, what got you hooked on them as well?
I think they're more of nature, and I think that's what hooked me on them the most, because, you know, like you say, they're all different shapes and sizes and sorts, and whatever you see is what you can do with them.
Well, and Suzanne, you've done quite a bit with the ones that you've brought. Now, you've brought an assortment here that includes some with Native American motifs, some that have basketry integrated into the piece themselves. And this, I have to say, I'm going to pick this up just for a moment. This is a really remarkable piece. Now, this is carved into the gourd, isn't it?
It's carved into the gourd, and it's wood burned and dyed, and then it has a handmade paper lining on the inside of it.
And I noticed the beautiful lining as well. And I love the oak leaf motif, which is what really attracted me to it. I've always loved things with that particular pattern. But this is really an exceptional work of art.
Thank you.
And so I can see that you spend quite a bit of time on these pieces.
A lot of time,
right. Yes. And these are also things that attract kids, and they make great, all sorts of things that you can. I would not hang this in my yard.
No.
I would not. But there are some pieces that people can, you don't have to be a great artist to appreciate these and have fun with them, right?
That's correct. And we encourage the children to do that too. So we give classes at our markets and stuff to let them know how to paint and have fun and do that.
Well, they make great birdhouses or scoops or you name it, or rattles even. I remember when I was a kid in one of my early music classes, a gourd rattle. So that's probably where some of our music came from, right?
Sure.
Many, many years ago. Now, you are our grower, and I wanted to focus in on talking about where these kinds of plants grow and the ease of growing them. I've had a little bit of experience of growing them before, and I know that some of these plants can get really big really fast.
Yes, they can, and we like to see that. The bigger the plant, the bigger the gourd, so you never know what you're going to get. There are different varieties of gourds that I grow in Smithville currently. I do separate some of them to grow them because you don't want to have a huge one and then a smaller one at the same site. So, but the main thing is with the growing is that you have complete natural fertilizers, what we use, because we have 200 chickens that furnish our fertilizer for us, so which is good for the gourd plants. And I do let them grow, do water them, and take care of them from that. Then one of the main things is to leave that gourd on that plant for a full 1.5 to 2 years.
Wow.
So it's completely dried like these before you take that off and get ready to craft it and paint it.
Right.
So.
Well, you referenced that some of them can get large. We have one of those specimens in the studio with us. It's a little outsized. And you called this a bushel gourd, is that the name?
Yes, this
basket.
yes, bushel basket gourd, which is that one. Unfortunately, I have to tell you the good part and the bad part both.
Okay.
With this type of gourd, when you plant that seed, it will grow about 20 different gourd seeds or gourds on that plant. Unfortunately, you have to take all of them off but 1 or 2 to get this size. Otherwise, they're going to be smaller and more of them.
Well, it's a significant size. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have some that are absolutely tiny, and again, I can see Suzanne having a lot of fun with these and crafting something with them as well. So, real briefly, Charlotte, let's talk about growing conditions. What are they like?
Now is the time to grow. So those gourd people out there that want to get gourds for the next 2 years, plant your seeds now. And in fact, I've just planted 4 different varieties at our farm. So again, get them out there, get them planted.
Full sun, I would.
Full sun, full sun, yes. And of course, you're going to have those huge blooms and the huge leaves and stuff. And it's going to be beautiful to even watch them grow. So that's the fun, exciting part, to see what's going to happen.
Well, they have a practical use in the garden as well. That if you want quick privacy screen, something even while your shrubs are young and haven't grown up quite yet, and you want a quick privacy screen, this is something that will take over a fence in a single season, right?
True, very true. But we currently have 130 acres that we farm about 1 acre of it. So that's enough for the gourds to grow for us.
An acre of gourds, yes. I would think that would probably be plenty for you. Now, in terms, you say you leave them on the plant for 2 years.
I leave them until they're completely dry, until the stem of the gourd itself is completely dry, and you can shake it and rattle. And you hear that rattle, you know it's dried inside. Otherwise, they'll rot from the inside out. So all the work that she may do on her artistry work will go to foil, because they'll rot and they'll crack and curve and break in. So she wants to make sure those are seasoned gourds at least 2 years old at least.
So what do you look for when you're looking for a gourd? You're ensure you're going to have one that doesn't do all those bad things.
Right.
I like to find them that have the least amount of blemishes. A lot of them, I mean, they're a natural product, so they have a lot of blemishes and dimples and different things. And sometimes you can incorporate that into your design.
Right.
So I basically choose them for their shape more than anything.
So you just look for distinctive shapes.
Yes.
And I'm curious about the ornamentation piece of that. And how did that get started? What is your inspiration for the different things that you do? I mean, these are obviously all quite unique and different.
Oh gosh, I like color. I like bright and colorful things. Native American is probably the most popular trend of decorating gourds, but I like color and nature. Nature has a lot of inspiration.
Now, you're both members of the Gourd Society, and tell me what takes place in these kinds in the patches themselves.
Well, there's 8 clubs or 8 patches throughout the state of Texas, so from Dallas all the way to Corpus and everywhere in between. And we meet, or each club meets every other month or on a monthly basis, and we do projects. And so we learn different techniques from different members, and we usually always have a project going. And we have an annual Lone Star Gourd Festival that takes place in Fredericksburg in mid-October. And it's a judge competition, and artists from all over the United States enter pieces.
And Charlotte, can folks come out to the Diamond Y and visit you and learn about all this? How do they find you?
Definitely. Well, you can call us. We have Diamond Y Farm. It's 5 miles out, Smithville, out at 95. You can call us anytime. We tell people, local people, because it is a small community, if the barn door's open, we're there, come on in. So we'll be glad to take you on a tour and show you the gourds, show you the farm and everything else that's there.
Okay, and how do people get in touch with the Gourd Society if they want to be in touch?
At our website, texasgourdsociety.org.
All right, and so the show's coming up in the fall, is that what you said?
Mid-October, October 19th through the 20th.
Okay, very good, and we appreciate you both coming on, sharing your beautiful artistry and the fun and the joy that you both obviously take from this, which is great. So thank you so much for being part of Central Texas Gardener today.
Thank you.
All right, and go out there and get Gourdy, folks. Coming up next is our friend Daphne Richards.